guys, so if you couldn't tell, it's been a really long time since I took those last videos. I got home on the night of December 14th and it's currently January 8th. So I took a little bit over, honestly, 3 weeks. I was gonna say over 2 weeks, but I took 3 weeks before filming this because, well, first of all, I was just so excited to be home and I was so busy, like literally making so many plans and stuff so I catch up with people. And two, I really wanted to like actually reflect before I just like came and was like, oh my God, like Spain was so fun. So how was my semester? Overall, the semester was insane. Like, honestly, at this point, I kind of don't feel like I'm staying in New York. Like, I feel like I'm going to be flying back for school again. So I'm not like sad about it yet, like sad about it being over. But yeah, it was just amazing. Like when people ask me about it, I have such a hard time like telling them in words because it was like such a long experience. Like I was living there, you know? So it wasn't like, oh yeah, I went on vacation. It was like so fun. Like I went like jet skiing or whatever. No, it was like 4 months, like totally like immersed in everything. So it's kind of hard to talk about, but I think that in general it really exceeded my expectations. Like I knew I was going to be having fun, I knew I was going to be traveling, but I didn't expect to make like such amazing friends. Like besides my friend who I went with, I met some like amazing girls. I didn't expect to enjoy the classes so much. Like I think I did really well there and the classes I took were amazing. The teachers were insane. I know like some other schools do programs with NYU Madrid, so if you can go to NYU Madrid, go. Like the teachers are amazing and fantastic and they actually care about you, which is so cool. So what did I say? Friends, blah. Oh, learning Spanish. So I've always loved learning Spanish and I've been taking it since middle school, which is kind of embarrassing to say because I'm not like fluent, but you know how like the classes go in America, like we're not actually like learning. Anyway, so doing that was amazing. And besides learning in the classroom, just like on the streets and stuff, like practicing, like even among friends, like everyone who went to NYU Madrid, basically like we all spoke English because it wasn't like a Spanish university, it was just NYU. But you know, practicing among friends, like learning whatever. And I also watched like a couple of series in Spanish, like on Netflix, and that helped so much. Like I watched one when I first got there, Elite, and I actually had to watch it like Spanish audio, but with English subtitles because like I was missing too much. But by the end, when I watched Money Heist or La Casa de Papel, I watched it Spanish audio and Spanish subtitles and I understood everything. So that's when I knew like I had improved, you know, because before I wasn't able to do that and then I did it at the end. So learning Spanish was amazing. So I think there's like my top 3 like aspects of the program that I wasn't expecting, but like were amazing. Okay, I don't know if I have favorite parts. Like I want to talk about favorite parts. Okay, I'm just gonna do top 3 of everything because otherwise it'll be like a 20-minute video. So those were top 3 like unexpected things that were like insane. Top 3 favorite things or like parts or opportunities, I guess. Number 1, travel. Like I traveled more in that 3.5 months than I had in like my entire 19 years prior. And I always thought that I like needed to travel, like that it was something that I really loved to do, but I never like really knew because I never did it. So after that, I'm like 100% sure that like I have to keep traveling. And I really plan to do that. Like I'll be in California next week, which is like a service trip. And then hopefully I'll be going somewhere for spring break. And then I'm trying to plan a really cute trip with my best friend for over the summer or like before summer starts, I guess. So that'll be really fun. Like I just really need to make sure that I make time and like save up money to continue traveling because nothing is like it. And actually like when I was there, it was really cool because basically like my family hosts students who come to America to learn English and they've been doing that for kind of my whole life. So I've made so many friends over the years from like all over the world. And when I was in Europe, like traveling to all these different countries, I was able to call some of them and be like, hey, like, will you meet up with me? I'm going to be in Berlin this day or like Amsterdam this day. So I actually was able to hang out with Finn in Berlin, Susan in Amsterdam, and then Maria, her family actually lives in Madrid, so that was like my second family when I was there. And then Sole and Yolanda, they stayed with me when I was literally 8 years old, so 11 years ago, and we met up for like Coke one night. It was like so nice to catch up with people, and I was able to do that because, you know, I was traveling around so much. Okay, so that was number 1, my favorite part. Number 2, this is hard. I would have to say just like the independence. Like, it's the same, I think, as if someone, like, goes to another city to, like, go to college. Because, you know, I'm from Queens, so going to NYU, like, obviously it's different. I live there. I'm not living at home. And that is independent. But at the same time, it's, like, I know the place. Like, I'm familiar with everything. But for me, like, being in Madrid, not only was I, like, independent, but it was, like, adventurous. I think that's what it is. Like, everything was just so brand new. And I didn't get that when I went to NYU, but like when I studied abroad, I had that, and it was just so fun, you know, like you're just finding new places to go. Like you have your spots across the city, and that was really fun. Our spot actually closed. We tried to go to it our last night before we went to Capital with like the whole group, and it was literally closed. And it was like the saddest thing ever because like we had gone our first night out and then we were going to go our last night out and it was closed, but La Cueva is forever in my heart. Okay, that was the second part. The third part that was my favorite was probably just, I don't know, like, honestly, okay, my third favorite part was just the bonding. Like, I feel like when you're in another country with people, okay, so like I said, I went with Krista, and like, I didn't really know people before that. Like, there was Sophia, who's in my AAP group, and a couple people who were in my Stern cohort, but like I didn't really know anybody. But so when you're there, you know, you're in another country, like if somebody's having an issue, like everyone's willing to help, like everyone wants to like go out with everyone, just like mix and mingle. And that was really fun because like NYU Stern, or even NYU like in New York, is so huge that like, yeah, you like might have a class with someone, but you'll never see them again, you know? But here I think it was like 90 of us or something like that, just living together. Like some people lived in homestays, like a bunch of us were in the dorms. We all went to school together, but we were all just kind of like there, you know? And it was like really small and kind of like the experience that you don't really get at NYU in New York. So that was amazing. It's so hard to narrow it down to 3 favorite parts, but like, I guess. Okay. And honestly, like, okay, yeah. Everyone talks about, there's like no segue here. There's no segue, but I'm just gonna go for it. Everyone talks about like study abroad being a life-changing experience, but it's so weird, like to be honest with you, like I'm definitely different. However, I just don't think I can put my finger on it, you know? Like I think that I'll start to discover more ways in which I've grown as like I'm confronted with situations. So for example, we went to Oxford. I was supposed to vlog about our trip to London actually on Black Friday, and like I have videos and everything, but we had an issue with our Airbnb in Oxford, and like it was just so chaotic, and I just stopped recording for the second half, so I didn't think it made sense to make a video. However, so yeah, we had an Airbnb disaster, and what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, so I'm like on the phone with Airbnb, like I'm on the phone with my parents, I'm on the phone with like these hotels trying to find a vacancy for the night. And throughout that whole thing, like I didn't cry once. And like that sounds silly to say, like why would you cry? But like people who know me, like you guys know I'm like super emotional. So for me not to have cried once when that was happening, it was just like, wow, like something's a little different, you know? So that's what I mean. Like I'm not really sure how I've changed, but I'm sure that I have, and like I'll find out more as like things happen, and I'm like, oh, like I totally would have handled that differently before. I think also like I was already in the process of becoming more like, I don't want to use the word logical, but like I said, I'm a very emotional person. So over the summer, I feel like I was already making my transition into being like less of that and more kind of like a good mix between like, you know, like knowing when to like be emotional, knowing when to just like fix stuff and like move on and whatever. And I think that was definitely solidified by going away, because I did have so many like, not disasters, that's dramatic, but you know, like I got pickpocketed, like we had that Airbnb thing, like there were a couple times when, you know, my phone broke and all that stuff. So, yeah, I think that my biggest challenge was definitely homesickness, because I've never been so far away from like my family or my friends, or even just like where I'm from. You know, I'm from New York. I've been here my whole life for that long. So for the first like couple of weeks, like I even want to say like past that, it was just really hard for me to like have fun. Like clearly I was having fun, but I'd always like, by the time I went home, you know, at the end of the night I'm going to sleep, like I'd be sad, you know, or like I wake up in the morning and I'm sad before I go out with all my friends and like start doing stuff. So for me that was rough, and I don't think I necessarily like overcame it, but I was better at coping with it. Like, you know, for me a lot of the time was like spent counting down, like, okay, and that's conflicting because you're having the best time, but at the same time it's like I really miss my family. Like I really, especially my brother, you know, I miss, you know, the New York City streets and the subway and whatever. So just learning how to like, okay, like acknowledge that and like keep like living in this moment here, like in Madrid, was like a big feat for me, I think. And I think it definitely showed me a lot more about like what I care about and like what type of person I am. Like obviously I knew like I knew that that was important to me and everything like that, but just kind of living that and realizing like, wow, like this is really how I feel was a win, but also like that came out of a challenge. And you know what, like I think that I was like one of the only people who was that homesick, and I wasn't like expressive about it, but I mean maybe other people weren't expressive about it either, but that's what I realized. I think that my biggest regret was packing. Like, okay, honestly, like you saw my packing video, or I hope you did, and that was like so good. I had like a lot going for me, you know, I had the clothes, the shoes, like medicine, hair stuff. Like I kind of thought of everything, but what I didn't think of is like the winter. So I don't know why I thought I was going to some tropical island. Like I had sweaters, okay, but like if you're wearing sweaters 7 days a week and you bring 4 sweaters, like you have to rewear them. And like that's fine. However, it's just like not really me. Like I'm not really a big fan of like wearing the same clothes every day. So yeah, I had to do that. Like often, like I think I had to become more comfortable with being like an outfit repeater. I was an outfit repeater, but I did end up going shopping because I just felt like I didn't feel comfortable, or I didn't feel good, you know, like wearing the same sweaters all the time, whatever. I also don't know why I didn't bring boots. Like I literally had sneakers, 2 pairs of sandals, and like heels, but like where were the boots? I came without boots, so I ended up having to buy those. Yeah, I think I just wasn't prepared for the winter time, and that was a little difficult. I'm like, I bought another jacket when I was there. I bought a lot of stuff, and some I didn't need. Like the winter stuff I needed, a lot of stuff I didn't need, and I ended up having to throw a ton away when I came back. And honestly, like I didn't even get all bent out of shape about it. Like I literally just couldn't do it. My luggage was going to be overweight. And like you saw that in the beginning, like it was like overweight, but the lady was nice enough to let me go. And that was after I threw out like so much stuff. So if you're like me, just don't get carried away, because I got super carried away with shopping. And that was after my brother came in November and took back like half of my summer stuff. So when I had to throw stuff out, that was after he took, and I just had so much more stuff. So yeah, I think that's my biggest regret. Like I just wish I packed better so that I didn't like start shopping and then you're like, I couldn't stop. But honestly, it's such a small thing. But if you're like getting ready to go for this like winter semester, or like I don't even know when I'm gonna edit this video, so whenever you're going, just know, like think about when you get there, but also like when you're leaving, and prepare for the worst case scenario. Because I was like, okay, winter, like okay, they say it's usually 50 degrees, I'm gonna pack for 50. But like there were a couple of days when it was like low 40s and I was like, whoa, unprepared. But don't be like me, do better. I mean, like, honestly, I just think it was the best thing I could have done for myself. And everyone always talks about how, like, oh my God, like, sophomore fall, that's so soon, that's so soon. And actually, at NYU, it's pretty common to go sophomore fall, especially at Stern, because that's, like, you know, before recruiting and all that stuff. So it wasn't early. I think it was the perfect time for me to go. And, like, I'm saying, I'm trying to make this video, like, concise, because I doubt you want to hear me just, like, blah on about like every single thing I did and like how amazing it was, because trust me, it was. However, I just want to like give you like an overview. So like if you're deciding to study abroad, or like unsure, on the fence, like definitely go. Like I don't want to be dramatic or cliche and like all those like memes and stuff about people, but it's a life-changing experience. And I think it's something that like if you have the opportunity to do it, just do it. Find a way to do it, because I'm so grateful I did. And now it's like going back to the New York City campus, I feel like I'm going to kind of cherish that a little more, you know? Like I do love NYU, and I loved NYU Madrid, and I really hope that I get to study abroad again. I'm thinking maybe Shanghai if I am able to go again. But yeah, like all in all, it was insane, and I'm so grateful. But also, like I said, I was so happy to come home, and I've literally been going nonstop for the 3 weeks I've been here, like seeing everybody every day, like, and that's been really fun for me. And I'm also so excited to be back for cheerleading. Like missing a whole semester is really hard, in that respect, like when you're on a club or a team and like you're expected to be there. So that's really rough, but I'm excited. I'm so excited. I found out yesterday where I'll be living, and I got my classes. I'm stacked. Like I'm trying to get a job for this semester. Stacked as in like my classes are stacked on Monday and Wednesday, comma, I'm trying to get a job for the second semester. So honestly, like it's just looking really good. And I hope this was helpful in some ways. Like it's really just hard to verbalize. And I'm sure like if you've gone on study abroad, like you know what I mean. This is a really unstructured like review video, whatever, but I didn't want to like not have a conclusion because I was like, in my last video, I got some more study abroad vlogs coming for you. And I did. However, I told you about my disaster in Oxford, and that's why that video wasn't published. And then this one, like I was just chilling, like trying to figure out exactly what I wanted to talk about. And as you can see, I still don't really know. However, it's January 8th and like the clock is really ticking, so I just wanted to like get something out. But yeah, and I really hope that my semester in New York is interesting enough for me to like continue making vlogs, because it's fun. Like obviously I'm not like a professional or anything, but it's fun, so that's good. Yeah, that's it. And if you've watched all of my study abroad vlogs, thanks, and I hope you enjoyed. And I just, again, really encourage you to do this if you can. Okay.